Hi guys, and welcome back to the part 2 of the videos on how to take the auction house into your favor. Okay, today I would like to discuss along the lines of how and when you can abuse the most of the auction house. Okay, for the sake of this video, we will consider that this thing repeats itself in every expansion, and pretty much it does. So, we present one major fact. Okay, the fact is that at the beginning of a new expansion, all the people would want to buy materials. So this means that since there are not many farmers, the materials are going to be at the highest of the prices they're ever going to be at the auction house, and the probability of someone buying your auction is pretty much 100%. So this actually opens a window of opportunity for you here. So that means that for the first 2 months, pretty much, maybe 1.5 months, people would want to max out their professions as soon as possible. If you want to make the most income you want for the game, is that during this 2 months period, go and farm everything, and I mean everything: herbs, ores, furs, clothes, everything. Because, and this is pretty much guaranteed, that their prices would be at the highest there will ever going to be at the expansion. Okay, so this is actually a very good way for you to start making a good income. So after the first 4 months, okay, the prices are going to getting at a steady line, which means they will obviously be lower than the prices at the beginning of an expansion, but it actually depends on the item and its usability. What I mean by that, let's take into account the fact that we're still in wood. Okay, if you remember, ore, blackrock ore and the true iron ore are actually started at very high prices, at least in my realm, probably in every realm in the world, and they have actually now go back to 2G or something like that per ore. But at start it was like 10G or more sometimes, because actually remember that if this must take into account the fact that people want to buy those things, and the cash-in period is during the first 2 months of an expansion. What else you have to consider? You have to consider that as time goes on, okay, people would have eventually maxed out their professions. So not many would want to commit to their professions. They just want to max it out, maybe get some gear at the beginning to get a start. That's all they want. Okay. People that are playing in order to craft and create items are not the majority. So this actually dictates the prices of the auction house. So by the end of an expansion, if you want to make a probability density function, this actually looks a lot like the Poisson distribution. So what do I mean by that? The Poisson distributions actually said that we've got a nice peak at the beginning, and then by the end it goes slowly to zero. Okay, and this pretty much describes auction house in a nutshell. Remember though, many items like consumables, for example, or enchants are going into a repeat cycle at every patch. Why? Because at a new patch, and jewel crafting sometimes, not though the bullshit thing that they, and sorry for the word, that they did in Word, that you got a chance of getting a socket. Okay, but previously from the TBC to Mist of Pandaria, where sockets were 100% on the armor. So this means that in every new patch it begins a cycle anew, which means that jewel crafters, enchanters, who else? I think those two guys. Yeah, those two could actually begin their creative, if you like, uh, their creative cycle from the beginning, and their prices would go at the end of patch. The prices would be low, and when the new patch comes, their prices would go skyrocket again because many people would want to buy new gems, new enchants. Am I right? Who wouldn't? So these two professions at every new patch will be relevant. Jewel crafting, not that much though, because again, as I told you before, the socket bonuses are now a random chance. Yet the enchanters, they got actually a pretty nice case here, because everyone would want to enchant their rings, their neck, their weapons. Okay, and before Warlords of Draenor, they had to enchant their chest, their wrist, you know. Leather workers can do something like that. If I'm not wrong, they created some things that you can either enchant the shoulder and your pants, if I'm correct. Yeah. So these professions repeat a cycle. They go up, the prices go up at the beginning of a new patch, and the prices go steady at the median price by the end of the patch. Before the next one, they're going to go again skyrocket and do the same cycle. But again, if you plot this repetition, if you like, it will actually be along the lines of the Poisson distribution. Next, we have consumables, and this ties in with the video about my mage creating the potions. Consumables, again, at the beginning of an expansion, are sold pretty much at a high rate, and those things gets a little bit stale and steady sometimes, because actually people would want to buy consumables throughout the life of an expansion, because they would want to do more damage, they want to do more healing, they want to have more stamina, okay, so they don't die so easily. So alchemy is actually a profession, and I'm pretty sure that's the only profession that keeps its high rate throughout the lifetime of an expansion. After that, we got the farmers. Those guys who go out and farm the ores, the herbs, the fur, the clothes. Those things actually are not so optimal at the midlife and the end of an expansion. Possibly at the end of an expansion. Because no one wants to create new items at the end of an expansion, right? Why would you do that? You are going to replace them in like 10 hours, pretty much. You can actually go and buy new gear from the new content that's going to arise at some point. So you would have to replace all the crafted items you got before. One last thing I would like to tell you, and I would like to make this, if I had to highlight it, I would put exclamation marks, everything. Your target group must be the pre-expansion people and the pre-expansion event. And why do I say that you have to target the guys from the pre-expansion event? Okay, follow my logic for a while, shall we? Remember that during this time, and let's say that we are in war, because we are. Currently, there are along the lines of 5 million people subscribed to the game. Okay. During the Warlords pre-expansion event and the beginning of the Warlords of Trainer expansion, there was a peak of 10 million people. So that means that WoW lost pretty much half of its population. They are doing a great job of marketing the Legion expansion, which means that the hype train will go a long way with those guys. I actually pre-bought Legion, even though I'm not currently subscribed to the game. Okay. So what they would want is to catch up, if you like, with what they missed. So this will be that they would want to do some raiding content, maybe get the Moose Mount from Archimon Heroic. Maybe they would want to buy some mounts that they missed from the garrison, like the Coldfist Groundling. If you check the auction house right now, you will see that these, especially the Coldfist Groundling mount, is around 3k, 4k. Remember that at the pre-expansion event, that, okay, let's say that Coldfist Groundling is a pretty nice mount, okay? It's not something that you see every day. So, Coldfist Groundling would escalate to, if it's now 3k, would go around 10k, 11, maybe more, depending on how many people want to buy this mount, okay? What else they would want to buy? They would want to buy some potions. Remember that when you use your boost on a character, it actually gives you 640 item level. It's not that good, but it also won't help you deal with large health pools of the mobs they've got. So they would want to buy some potions that in order to increase their damage. So this is where alchemy gets in. Another thing that they might want to buy is a few gear pieces from, what is it, maybe the first or the second stage of an item that is crafted, because this will actually help them get into the Hellfire Citadel Raid Finder faster than actually going to Tanan Jungle and start doing the Apex dailies. So this would actually create an opportunity for the crafters there to actually make some income. But what you must want to do is actually go and farm materials. People, they would want during this time to max out their professions, if they haven't, and they would actually want to create some things for their alts, for even their main. So this would be a nice window for you to go and bombard the auction house with high prices. Okay. Last but not least, remember that this thing cycles. So the same thing will happen at the Legion. But what happens to the items from previous expansions that they are at high level? So here we have to consider a coolness factor. I mean, who doesn't want to buy Thunder Fury? To make Thunder Fury. But in order for you to make Thunder Fury, if you don't know, you have to buy around 100 Arcanite bars. And Arcanite bar costs along the lines of 2k, something like that. Or in order to create the enchanted elementum, you want 10 enchanted elementum in order to get the Thunder Fury, plus the bindings of the Windseeker. 10 enchanted elementum bar during the mob time that I did Thunder Fury. They were along the lines of 20,000 G, pretty much. Sometimes it would go higher to 25, 26,000 G. So there are items that people want to get, but so not that many people actually go and craft them. So who can actually go and craft the Arcanite bar, okay? And I'm not sure that many know where to get the enchanted elementum recipe. It's not your trainer, It's inside Blackrock Mountain. So something like that gives to an item a coolness factor and a legacy. This actually helps the guys who want to buy this one to get it, and they want to buy the materials. And if you are the one who can create this, this is a gold mine. I made around 60k from selling around 30, 40 elementum bars sometimes, yeah, because during this time of Mist of Pandaria, there were many people that want to get the Thunder Fury. I don't know why. But they actually did, and I got quite a lot of money from them. So, a quick recap before I end this video is that you have to remember that during the beginning of a new expansion, this is a period. If you don't want to get into raiding, you can actually start doing gathering and crafting, so you can get a lot of income from that. If you're a jewel crafter, not that much, but if you're an enchanter, remember that every new patch is like repeating the same cycle. So at the beginning of a new patch, they were people that they want to buy enchants for the rings, for the necks, for the weapons. And during the last period of the expansion, you actually want to sell everything you've got, because there is going to be way a lot of people that they want to buy it, because they will either help them or their alts gear up faster or get into the next content faster. So guys, I hope I was helpful in these two videos. Feel free to leave your questions down to the comment section, and subscribe to my channel if you like my video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.